everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nekkra, and it's time for another VGC Professor Series episode. In this video, we're going to be going over the different items that are in the game and why they're important to VGC. First thing to cover is that there are 4 different categories of items: defensive items, recovery items, damage boosting items, and miscellaneous items. We'll be covering each of these different types of items in order, starting with defensive items. Defensive items are items that boost defense in some capacity. The first item to consider is Assault Vest, which reduces the amount of damage taken by special attack moves, but at the cost of not being able to use status moves such as Protect. Pokemon that like to use Assault Vest are bulky Pokemon that have already sizable bulk to capitalize on the special defense boost, along with not normally using status moves. 2 examples of Pokemon wanting to use it are Rillaboom, who doesn't typically utilize any status moves, and Metagross, which is typically purely offensive besides running Protect on its weakness policy set. Next is Evilite, another defensive item that boosts the Pokemon's defense and special defense by 1 stage, but only if the Pokemon is not fully evolved. Dusclops is one of the most important Pokemon that holds Eviolite because it's able to withstand hits to set up Trick Room. There aren't many Pokemon that can knock out an Eviolite-boosted Pokemon. Damage reduction berries are another great way to make sure a Pokemon can withstand a super effective hit. You might have seen berries such as Shuca Berry on a Pokemon with a weakness to ground-type attacks, or Colbur Berry to reduce the damage of 1 super effective dark-type attack. Any of the damage reduction berries can be key to your game plan. The last most defensive item is Focus Sash, which allows a Pokemon to withstand a 1-hit knockout surviving on 1 HP. This can enable you to prevent your frailer Pokemon from being removed from the game early, and setting up crucial moves. Sometimes you will also see Focus Sash on redirectors, guaranteeing their partners are protected for the turn. When thinking about recovery items, Leftovers is the first that comes to mind. Leftovers is useful on bulky Pokemon that like to boost their stats, one common example being Calm Mind Tapu Fini. Leftovers heals your Pokemon for a small percentage of HP at the end of every turn to either mitigate chip damage from sand and burn, or just in general keep a Pokemon healthy. Leftovers also pairs very nicely with Protect, rewarding slower, more defensive play to slowly heal your health. Up next are berries, which keep a Pokemon healthy. First is Citrus Berry, which activates at 50% health or lower to heal a Pokemon 25% of its health. Citrus is typically useful for giving you just enough extra health to throw off what would normally be a 2-hit knockout. Pinch berries such as Figgy, Wiki, and Aguav Berry are effective too, to heal a Pokemon by 33% of their maximum health, but only once a Pokemon is below 25 of their maximum HP, with the recovery being nerfed in Generation 8. But be careful, while the healing trade-off is great, you have to make sure the nature and palette of a Pokemon match the berry you're using, so the Pokemon doesn't get confused upon consumption of the Pinch Berry. Lastly, there's Lumberry for Pokemon that are susceptible to status conditions. Getting hit with a status condition can really disrupt your gameplay, so Lumberry can make sure you wake up from sleep, get cured from paralysis, or heal your burn right off the bat. This item is most useful on Pokemon that want to utilize setup moves such as Swords Dance, with 2 common examples being Garchomp and Landorus Therian. After defensive and recovery items, we have damage boosting items. With Pokemon that are more offensively oriented, these are types of items that you'll want those Pokemon to hold. First is Weakness Policy, which is one of the most used items in the game right now. After being hit with a super effective attack, Weakness Policy will activate to increase the Pokemon's attack and special attack by 2 stages each. Life Orb is another greatly used item for increasing damage, increasing all damage dealt by 30%. The drawback here is that you take damage equal to 10% of your max HP after using a damaging move. Expert Belt is a good replacement item if you don't want to take the Life Orb recoil damage. Expert Belt increases the power of super effective moves by 20%, which is sometimes all you need. Choice Specs is great for special attackers, boosting the special attack of your Pokemon, but locking them into the first move that they use. However, if the Pokemon Dynamaxes, the Pokemon will lose the special attack boost, but will be open to choosing whatever max move they want. Choice Band plays a similar way, except boosting attack instead of special attack. Lastly, there are a ton of type-specific items like Mystic Water, Rose Incense, or the Plates, which increase damage dealt by their respective type by 20%. Finally, we have miscellaneous items. Light Clay, Mental Herb, Choice Scarf, and Safety Goggles are all widely used in VGC, but are niche in the sense that they do very specific jobs. Light Clay is seen on screen setters like Grimmsnarl or Lapras and extends the duration of Reflect, Light Screen, and Aurora Veil by 3 turns. Mental Herb is commonly run on a Trick Room setter that you're concerned might be taunted, like a Cresselia. Choice Scarf functions similarly to Choice Specs in Band, but it affects speed, essentially making a slower Pokémon catch the opponent off guard by outspeeding their faster threats, but locking the Pokémon into its first chosen move, just like with the other choice items. Finally, Safety Goggles makes the user immune to weather damage from hail and sandstorm, but more importantly makes it immune to powder moves from Sleep Powder to Spore to Rage Powder, turning many otherwise non-threatening Pokémon into Venusaur and Amoongus's worst nightmares. That's all for items in VGC. Remember that each Pokémon can only hold 1 item and that there can only be 1 copy of each item on your team. So make sure your Pokémon are kitted out well and stay tuned for more VGC Professor Series episodes.